Many people probably believe if you saw an individual who committed a crime, you probably never forget that face and you would be accurate in your identification. But we know from real cases that eyewitnesses routinely make errors in their identification decisions. Human memory is quite malleable. Take a moment to think about a day and moment in your life. Think about what you can actually see in that memory. Do you see yourself from a third-party perspective, like a video camera, exploring the event? If that's the case, this is not a real memory. Your memory has been contaminated over time, probably from photographs or videos, or maybe even talking to other people. It could also be your imagination. At the end of the day, this type of contamination is not a problem for most people because it's happy. But for eyewitnesses to a crime, this can be extremely detrimental for an innocent suspect. We assume that if a witness says, "I'm absolutely certain that's the person," then that witness must also be accurate. But our research shows that that's not entirely true. And as you can imagine, in circumstances where perpetrators carry a weapon, such as a gun, it automatically increases a witness's level of stress and fear. Witnesses tend to focus on the weapon that they're being threatened with. And when they do this, they're not able to focus, pay attention to, perceive other aspects in their environment. There's nothing law enforcement can do to improve or increase that witness's memory. But we know that law enforcement can actually do things to increase the likelihood of an accurate identification. And these are, in effect, the choices that law enforcement make during an investigation about how to collect the evidence, how to test a witness's memory accurately. When eyewitnesses and victims in these types of cases make an identification error and pick an innocent person, these are not intentional, malevolent identification decisions. These are witnesses who genuinely believe that the person they picked is the actual perpetrator. The problem is they're mistaken, and it's very difficult for law enforcement, judges, jurors, and others to tell when an eyewitness has been accurate or inaccurate in their identification decision. We know that we cannot prevent all mistaken identifications from eyewitnesses, but we know that we can reduce the likelihood that those types of errors will happen. And we can do this by following best practices. Double-blind administration is recommended, not because we don't trust law enforcement, but because they're human beings. And at the end of the day, we tend to see what it is that we want to see. The FDA, for example, requires double-blind administration in their drug trials. And it's not because we don't trust doctors and nurses to run those trials accurately. It's because they can be influenced by their expectations, and what it is that they want to be in terms of the outcome. Law enforcement are the same. And so double-blind administration protects the witness and protects law enforcement from any accusations that there was influence in the outcome. At the end, we need to make sure that the witness's level of confidence, or how certain they are in their identification, is accurately recorded immediately after they make the identification decision. Because many actors in the criminal justice system rely on that witness's statement of confidence to try to figure out if the witness was accurate. Over time, if a witness is told information and given updates about the case, what we know now from research is that the witness is likely to become more and more confident about their identification, so that by the time the witness testifies at trial, any statement of confidence that the witness has currently about their identification decision is really quite irrelevant in helping us try to figure out if that witness was actually correct.